So thank you very much for this nice welcome. My name is Simon Blattmann, and in today's session about the value of business process monitoring, I will be presenting the topic business process monitoring together with my guest speaker, Calvin van der Walt from Dimension Data, about business process monitoring. So I'm the responsible product manager for business process monitoring. And maybe Calvin, you can also introduce yourself shortly.
Yes, Simon, thank you. Welcome everyone. My name is Calvin van der Walt and I work at Dimension Data, and my role there is the principal architecture consultant for the ALM space, and I'm looking forward to sharing our experience with business process monitoring in SAP Cloud ALM a bit later today.
So excellent. So thanks, Calvin, for this nice introduction. So really happy to have you also in my session today, and we're really looking forward to what you are going to explain about your experience and your customers' experience about, and so in this session it's about business process monitoring. In the previous session it was in general business process monitoring. Okay. So what is the overall objective of the session? So we would like to show you how business process monitoring can help you to ensure the business continuity for your intelligent enterprise. So you can paste your questions in the chat during the presentation. When I'm able, I can try to answer them in between. Otherwise, I will look at them at the end of the session. So we have reserved some time. So without further ado, I would like to start. So we have here our mandatory legal disclaimer. So ALM Summit is also available on Twitter. Like I said, you can use the Q&A function in Zoom, or there's also an expert session this afternoon where you can also join and ask more detailed questions. So we will. So I will start with the rationale and objectives for business process monitoring to explain you the why of business process monitoring, then show you what business process monitoring can do, and also show you a demo. And then Calvin will explain from the experience as a customer. And then last but not least, I will provide some further information on business process monitoring. Okay, so you might ask yourself, why do you need a central business process monitoring? Sorry for that. So in the past, we had a rather classical architecture with monolithic system landscape, when end-to-end process was running, let's say, across one or two applications. But now moving to the intelligent enterprise and in the intelligent suite architecture, we have the solution landscape is going to exist of multiple cloud and on-premise solutions, which will also follow certain process variances. So you will have solution variances for your process variances. And this, of course, also leads to a higher complexity in terms of monitoring. And now thinking of the business user, for someone who is responsible for the lead to cash process end-to-end or parts of the process like order to cash, it is very difficult to get an end-to-end picture across the entire end-to-end process across these multiple solutions. And this is where business process monitoring should help you. So we want to provide a central tool, a dashboard, where you get the transparency end-to-end of your business process, independently of your underlying solution landscape. With this, you should always be able to understand the current business process performance, executions, if there are exceptions during the process execution. And overall, we're aiming at ensuring here that you can ensure the business continuity of your business. And as I mentioned, main intention is that you monitor your process health, and that you're able to detect anomalies and doing a drill down onto the business document level in order to do root cause analysis. And as you do not want to do this continuously, be looking at the dashboard, we have also the embedded alerting, where you can directly get notified if a certain situation occurs. So in my next session, after this session, I will also demonstrate you how to configure the alerting capabilities in business process monitoring. And then in addition, we have the embedded operation automation, which helps you to overcome certain issues in an automated manner. So if there are repetitive issues coming up, you don't need to do the resolution in a manual order. You can always use a workflow which is doing it in a more automated manner. So here we are supporting the SAP Workflow Service Management and also IRPA. You will see also an example of this in my demo later. And BPMON comes all with predefined content. So we have the predefined process structure, which is aligned on the intelligent suite processes. And we have the predefined KPIs, which are with the so-called auto discovery are getting activated automatically once you have set up the connectivity between your managed system and business process monitoring. This means you have a very low efforts to get business process monitoring started, and you can directly start using it. Okay, what are the capabilities and the content we have? So I would like to explain you the capabilities based on the key personas, explain a little bit the use cases which we have here, which we see here. So at the top left, we have the lead to cash manager, who is typically responsible on a global level for an entire end-to-end process. So he needs to have a visibility on the end-to-end process from a more global perspective, meaning the end-to-end process performance as such. He or she would like to see certain business disruptions, critical situations which are occurring. He can also use the alerting to get notified about it. He can collaborate by assigning alerts and tasks to other people. And he maybe sometimes also need to do a root cause analysis to understand what is the issue here. And this persona also needs to do some analytics to understand, okay, what was the past performance, what's the current, and what is maybe even the predicted performance of a process. Then we have on the lower left, we have the order processing agent. This is a persona in the lines of business who is actually responsible to execute a process. Yeah. So this order processing agent, for example, is responsible that the sales documents, the customer orders get processed, that they're getting fulfilled, and the customer receives their ordered material in time, only as an example. So this persona needs to very closely monitor the process execution in order to ensure that everything is running smoothly. He wants to see critical process deviations. For example, if there's a backlog piling up, he needs to step in, being able to step in immediately and resolve the issues. He also maybe wants to check a certain document, a status of a document, like how many open sales orders are there, or if a customer calls and he needs to get the status immediately. This persona is also going to use the embedded alerting, of course, and also using operation flows to resolve tasks, and also wants to participate in the collaboration. And on the right side, we have the application owner, who is typically residing in IT operations, so he's more responsible for the technical aspects. But nevertheless, this persona might be also interested to see how the business process is running, to see if everything is running smoothly, or if there's a technical exception occurs, if it already has impact on the business process, in order to be able to align with the business users and discuss the measures which need to be taken. Okay, this was about the personas and the use cases. Now a few words on the predefined content we are delivering with business process monitoring. So we have the three-level process structure for the end-to-end processes, like lead to cash, source to pay, design to operate, and recruit to retire. So we have 3 levels for each end-to-end process, like here, lead to cash, order to cash, and manage customer order. And then on the last level, we have mapped the key performance indicators, like here, the ones for managed customer order. So we are currently supporting 5 KPI categories. We have the throughput KPIs, like sales document items created, which shows you how many documents have been created within a certain time frame. Then we have backlog KPIs, which tells you how many documents are at a certain process and need your attention or need to be processed further. So an example here is the open sales documents. Then we have a lead time KPI, which measures the processing time from a dedicated start point to an end point. So here we have the sales document items created to invoice creation cycle time as an example. Then we have exception KPIs, which collects messages within a certain error, but with a business reason, within a business transaction. So an example here is the failed goods movement during production order confirmation. And that's the fifth category, the automation rate, which shows you how many of, for example, the orders are processed in an automated manner. This category is not yet supported, but we plan to support it at a certain point in time. Okay, so which KPIs are we actually supporting? So for the lead to cash process, we are supporting these KPIs, which you see here on the slide. So when you are able to monitor them with your S/4HANA private cloud, with S/4HANA on-premise, with S/4HANA, it's public cloud, with S/4HANA on-premise, with S/4HANA private cloud, and also with SAP Business Suite. You can also, if you have an S/4HANA cloud, public cloud, and your S/4HANA on-premise, you can connect both systems to business process monitoring, and we will be able to bring the numbers of documents together to one KPI in the dashboard. So these are the KPIs which we are supporting for the source to pay process and the design to operate. And we are also able to monitor parts of the recruit to retire process. So mainly the recruiting, hiring, and onboarding process with SAP SuccessFactors. So I would now like to show you a small demo with an example for S/4HANA. So it's about how business process monitoring is used by a financial department of your office supply and how they would be overcoming a situation of blocked sales documents. So a short introduction to the scenario. So we have the fictional company, which is called your office supply. They are an online wholesaler for office supplies. They are using S/4HANA public cloud to run their order to cash process. And they are now using also business process monitoring to monitor the process end to end. So we have the following key personas you see here. So we have Ed Adams, who is the customer from EB Logistics, who is ordering some new office materials via the web shop. Then we have Raphael, who is the order processing agent, responsible that the order fulfillment is happening in a timely manner. And then again, we have Ed at the end, who receives the material. So as I said, Ed is a premium customer of your office supply. So he orders some new, places some new orders via the web shop as express orders. Then Raphael sees in business process monitoring that there's a high number of blocked sales orders, and he starts to root cause analysis and is able to resolve the issue in a timely manner. And with this, he ensures that Ed is able to receive the ordered office material in a timely manner and enjoys the good sales experience. Okay, so Raphael receives a new alert notification and starts the root cause analysis for the blocked sales documents. And you will now see how the alert notification works, looks like, and then we will go into the tool. Well, this is the alert notification Raphael receives from business process monitoring, where he sees that there's a KPI with sales credit blocks exceeded for the sales organization 1710. So he decides to jump into the tool to check for further details. So for this, I'm navigating to business process monitoring. So this is the launchpad of SAP Cloud ALM. So I have limited permission only for business process monitoring, the intelligent event processing, operation automation, notification management. So if I now jump into business process monitoring, so I have the role which Raphael typically has as a process manager. So here's my overview page loading. and I go with the time frame selection to today to see how my KPIs has developed compared to yesterday. So what Raphael has put here, he has put here the most important KPIs which are relevant for him. He wants to see always when he starts business process monitoring. So he has here a process card where he sees the available alerts for the process managed customer order where he is responsible for. He sees how many KPIs are actually currently activated and monitored for this process. So he sees here the KPI, the details for the value for the incomplete sales documents, sales document items created, all compared to the day before. And he immediately sees that here the sales document items, the sales documents with credit block KPI has a critical rating, so it increased dramatically by 150% compared to the day before. And he also sees that there is an alert he has been notified about. So he decides to drill into the details to check what is the actual root cause. So by clicking on the card, he can navigate directly to the details. And he will see here in the chart that 15 documents are coming from AB Logistics and that there are others blocked sales documents coming from other customers. And you can also see here the individual documents on item level. And as Raphael is only responsible for the US sales organization, he will maintain here a filter to filter the sales documents for the US sales organization. So he sees that all sales documents with the credit block for the US sales organization are coming from AB Logistics. And looking at the details in the table, so he can close this by doing a double click, for example. He sees that they have all been placed today and that the credit check was not successful for all of them. So Raphael now needs to understand how urgent the delivery is for the sales documents for this. As this information is maintained on item level, he needs to go to another KPI. So he can navigate via the breadcrumb to manage customer order and drill into the KPI sales document items created, where the sales document information are maintained on item level and also the requested delivery date. So the filter he maintained is still valid for these orders, and he sees that the requested delivery date is actually for the next day. And now looking in the detailed list, he sees that they are all coming from AB Logistics. So he knows that these orders from AB Logistics are quite urgent for the customer. So now he needs to take actions, because if he would not resolve the issue with the credit block, the customer will most probably not get the material in time. So for this, he wants to use an operation flow. So he can go back to manage customer order and then navigate via the link on the KPI card into the alerting. So here he immediately sees the alert for the sales documents with the credit block for the domestic sales org 1710, which he has maintained. By clicking on the alert, he's getting more details on the alert. So in the header, he sees the current value, which you have seen also in the monitoring UI. Here's the name of the KPI, the type of the KPI, and here are the defined threshold for the warning and critical. And this is the process context of the alert. So again, here are further informations. Also interesting to see for him is that the alert definition, and he sees that for this alert there is a filter maintained on the US sales organization. Okay, now he knows it is critical, he has the alert, and from the alert he is now able to start an operation flow. So by clicking on action and then start operation flow, he gets a list of the operation flows, and also if available and integrated, a list of intelligent robotic process automation bots he could use to overcome an issue. So we have here now a workflow which will trigger the release of the blocked sales documents via a workflow. So Raphael selects this workflow, and then he can see that it is running. So what is happening meanwhile? So a colleague of Raphael in the accounting department is getting this workflow, and the responsible person is now checking if there have been received outstanding payments by the customer meanwhile, so that there's no financial risk to release further new material to this customer. So the accountant will do this check. He will see that there have been that they have received outstanding payments, and then this person will approve the workflow. And with this, the credit blocks are removed via an API in the S/4HANA system. So let's assume 1 hour later, Raphael is coming back to his desk after a meeting, and he wants to see the status of this workflow. So he goes into the alerting, he refreshes the alert, and he sees that this workflow has been completed by the accountant. So he now also wants to know if the numbers have gone down meanwhile. So for this, he goes back to the overview, he uses the refresh button, and he sees that for the sales documents with credit block, there are no further blocked sales documents for the US sales organization. So he drills in. When he removes the filter, he sees that there are only blocked sales documents left for other customers, and not anymore for any of his sales organizations he's responsible for. So concluding, Raphael was able to ensure the timely delivery of the office materials to the customer. And with this, the customer received the material in time and enjoyed the sales experience. And he really is going to come back and use your office supply more often for his office materials. Okay, this concludes my demo, and I would now like to hand over to Calvin so he can share the experience with business process monitoring with you from a customer and a partner perspective. So Calvin, the stage is yours.
Thanks so much, Simon. I'm just going to share my screen. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome from a very sunny South Africa. I'm sitting here in Cape Town at the moment. If you guys haven't been to South Africa before, you'll know Cape Town is very well known for its large mountain that's just sitting behind me. So basically what we're going to discuss today is what our experience has been with business process monitoring. The interesting story here is that we are using it both as a customer, and then we're taking those findings and also applying it to our customers as a partner to help them with the business process monitoring functionality and seeing value out of it. So just the topics I'm going to cover very briefly today is a very quick introduction in looking at what our project scope was internally for our Cloud ALM project, some of the usage and benefits that we got out of it, both as a customer and a partner, and then also the lessons we learned as a partner and how we applied those to our customers, and then finally what our next steps are. All right, so just a bit about myself. I'm Calvin van der Walt. I'm a principal architecture consultant for Dimension Data. I find that this role suits me really well because I'm a logical thinker. It's really my passion to solve solutions and find a resolution to things. So this really helps me in my role and in my job to basically help organizations to identify their pain points and then use the ALM functionality to operate more efficiently. I've got 10 years experience in the ALM field and in SAP specifically, and my career has been mainly focused on Solution Manager, and obviously recently Cloud ALM as soon as it was available, and then also I'm involved in the Solution Manager functionality that supports the ECC to S/4HANA moves. Just another thing that I'm responsible for is product owner and manager of our R2D accelerator, which is just the requirements to deploy the accelerator for Solution Manager. So I'm responsible for that. And then finally, also as part of the African SAP user group, I've had the privilege of being appointed vice chair there for the ALM and Solution Manager space. In terms of Dimension Data, who are we? So we are basically a leading African-born technology provider, and we provide this services across the Middle East and Africa. We were founded in 1983, and we're headquartered from Johannesburg. We're also a proud member of the NTT Group, and in 2020, we had a transition where we consolidated all our subsidiaries into one single Dimension Data brand, and this gave us the opportunity to employ over 10,000 employees across 13 different countries. And we continue to innovate, bringing together the world's best technologies from consulting, technical, and support services to a fully managed service. Just in terms of what do we actually do as Dimension Data, so we're very much focused on our clients and client centricity. We provide systems integration, managed services, including infrastructure, cloud solutions, business applications, customer experience, and systems integration. And we really underpin all of this by our security solutions, which helps optimize today's evolving technology environments and engage its clients to leverage data in this digital age. If you look at this little green section, intelligent business applications, this is where our ALM team sits. And we are very familiar with Solution Manager. We use Cloud ALM ourselves as well as Focused Run as a service provider. And then just lastly, as part of the EMEA, this is where we basically operate. So all the green areas is where we have offices. Then you'll see the other areas of where we have internet points of presence, system integration through partners, connectivity service through partners. So if you're wondering where I'm sitting, I'm somewhere here right at the bottom of Africa, so quite low below those who are in Europe. Right, so what is our project scope around Cloud ALM? Why did we want to implement it? So in Dimension Data, we use S/4HANA Public Cloud Essentials Edition, and we very much use it for the project side of or professional services functionality. We use it for projects, we use it for our timesheets. So we really wanted to gain insight into our S4 system, also looking at the business processes around the financial side of projects and understand this. So this is why we decided to implement Cloud ALM. We also wanted to gain knowledge on SAP Cloud ALM and understand what is available. So as part of the project scope, we wanted to initialize, get Cloud ALM up and running, connected to our corporate IIS tenant, and then obviously assign the users that needed to access the system. And then we also wanted to activate business process monitoring, get some insights into the KPIs, and then look at the alerting functionality that was available. So what are some of the usage and benefits? So I'm going to split this up into customer and partner. So from a customer perspective, we really were able to get quick insights into our S4 business processes. You can see a little screenshot there on the right of a snippet of our order to cash process. To get this kind of insights was relatively easy. I come from a solution manager background. I'm very familiar with business process monitoring in Solution Manager. And yeah, this is very, very different. In Solman, you have to activate the services, you have to configure business process monitoring, implement the note, make sure your managed systems are connected. Then you need to do workshops with the client, go through that large list of KPIs, decide which KPI they use based on their knowledge of what functionality they're using in the system, and then you can finally activate it. With Cloud ALM, it was very different. We basically connected our managed systems, and thanks to the auto discovery functionality in Cloud ALM, basically business process monitoring went and looked at our S4 Cloud system, looked at the functionality we're using, automatically updated or activated the KPIs based on the functionality we're using, and immediately showed us data as it was collecting it. So very different, very quick to use, and the insights were really immediate. Also, what we found was, because we, as I explained, we used the project side of S4, we didn't see any metrics related to projects. So we reached out to SAP, we asked them about this, and they were very happy to help us with providing insights into what metrics we would like to see from a project perspective, and really took us through that process of sitting with us, showing us the system, showing us the value, and also giving us the opportunity to provide our input, which really just shows how they are customer-centric with this tool. And from a partner, just briefly, we learned obviously how to provision and enable Cloud ALM, and then also how to use the various operations functionality that is available in Cloud ALM. From lessons learned, once again, I'm going to split this up. So from a lessons learned as a partner, what did we learn? Well, firstly, we were able to understand which systems are supported. So as we know, Cloud ALM is continuously being developed, and we've got features coming in every 2 weeks. And as they start developing more and more functionality, they also start supporting more and more systems for that functionality. So they have a really good tool that we were able to use on the systems that supported for the various functionalities. And this has really helped us to use that when we talk to our clients to understand what systems do you have, what functionality is available for you at this point. And then obviously looking at the roadmap helps us to see what's coming in the future and what we can plan for. We were also able to learn how to demonstrate the benefit of Cloud ALM to our clients. And just to give you a real life example of that, as soon as we finished our Cloud ALM project around business process monitoring, we were able to engage with one of our customers that's a net new S/4HANA Public Cloud Extended Edition client. And we were able to basically say to them that we recommend you implement Cloud ALM as well as activating business process monitoring for your go live. So you might ask, why activate business process monitoring for go live? Well, we really wanted to show them the value of, you've got a brand new system, you're net new to SAP. Let's get those insights from day one as soon as you go live, so that you can start looking at those metrics, picking up possibly where there might be interferences between business processes, whatever the matter may be. And then let's start setting up alerts to make sure that those issues don't continue. And then finally, just to close off, what are our next steps as dimension data? Well, we really want to analyze these business process metrics. We're very keen and waiting for the project metrics as well. So we're going to activate those. Then we're going to look at alerting that we can set up so that we really can start using this tool and get the full value out of it with the alerting. And then we also want to keep up to date with the continuous enhancements that are coming to SAP Cloud ALM and really apply these benefits of Cloud ALM to our own customers as well. So that's my story. Thank you, Simon, for the time. If you have any further questions, we're going to have Q&A and expert sessions, but there is also my email left here.
So thank you, Calvin. Thanks very much for sharing this interesting insight. So we're very happy to hear that you enjoyed using business process monitoring and the insights you gained, and that you're also able now to position it to your customers and use it for their benefit in the project. So thank you very much for this interesting insights. It's always great to hear that our products are used and provide value to our customers. So let me now continue with some further information. Here's the roadmap which we have for now for Q4 2021 and Q1 2022. So in Q4 we plan to provide a self-monitoring, and also we are working on enhancing our overview page and the dashboards. So this will be the main topics we are working on in Q4 2021. And then looking at Q1 2022, we are going to handle, continue the enhancement of our authorization concept, that you will be able to restrict the data access based on the access to monitoring, on the monitoring data on business data level, like company code, sales organizations. And we also want to enhance embedded analytics in business process monitoring. And of course, for the content, we are continuously enhancing it. As Calvin mentioned, we are looking on KPIs for the service providers. We are also looking on additional KPIs for the other processes in S/4HANA and also in SAP SuccessFactors. So, and we typically do this based on customer feedback. So whenever you feel during the usage of business process monitoring that some KPIs missing, also new solutions, please just approach me so I can discuss the needed KPIs and do the needful to get them into business process monitoring. Okay, if you now, if you have not been using business process monitoring yet and you would like to start using it, then you can follow the steps described here on the slide. So you first need to get a request and a tenant. So you are entitled to use SAP Cloud ALM if you have any SAP Cloud subscription for any SAP Cloud product. Then you need to do the onboarding. So with the onboarding, everything will be basically set up in an automated manner. Then you will do set up the technical connectivity if you want to use business process monitoring or any of the other monitoring applications we have. So this is described here also in the expert portal. And then as a last step, you can do the actual configuration within the use cases. So I will share you further details how you can do configurations in business process monitoring to get more value out of it. So you will see this, I will demonstrate this in the next session, which will be starting at 11 o'clock. And of course, here we have also plenty of material available in the expert portal and also already some YouTube videos you will find also in the expert portal. So of course, we have much more information available, so you can get here in the expert portal more information on the overviews, available KPIs. So I shared this link already in the chat. Then there are general informations and FAQs on SAP Cloud ALM. And then we have here further support. So we have the YouTube channel where you find small usage videos, how to use, for example, business process monitoring, but also how to set up, for example, the alerting. And we have just concluded our open subcourse on SAP Cloud ALM for operations. So here you have the possibility to get an overview across all our use cases which we are offering, and also including business process monitoring if you want to forward someone looking at business process monitoring, or if you want to do a recap on yourself. And what is always available is the integrated web assistant within our applications. This you can activate via clicking the question mark in the shell. Okay, so with this, we are at the end of the presentation. So this is a chance to answer further questions, to place your questions. I don't see any further questions in the chat, so let us know if there's something open, if you need some more information. If not, we will always have the possibility to join my next session at 11 o'clock, where I show you more about the configuration of business process monitoring. And there is also the expert session this afternoon. I think it's at 1 o'clock. You have all experts together from the monitoring use cases to answer further questions on and have also a discussion on your questions. Oh, I see there is one open question. So that's the question, if the presentation will be available. So I think it will be available after the session together with the recording. You will be able to download the presentation and also click the links in after, I think latest tomorrow it should be available in the agenda builder tool for each session. Okay. Then if there are no further questions, I want to thank you again for listening. Also thanks Calvin again for sharing his experience with business process monitoring in SAP Cloud ALM. And I'm looking forward to also see you in my next session or in the expert session this afternoon. Thank you.